PuckTime going live in 3, 2, 1. Andrew, you are live.
Thursday, April 24th. We are live on WagerTalk TV. This is PuckTime. I am Andrew and I have Prez with me to break down 4 games today. We'll take a look at some of them, maybe in depth more than others. But of course, we have Panthers, Lightning, we have Senators and the Maple Leafs, we have Jets and Blues, and we will not forget about the Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights going head-to-head. Happy to have all of you guys here with us, whether you're watching on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you are. Both Prez and I appreciate you being here with us. Prez, last night, another exciting night of the NHL. I know this, of course, is the second time where you'll be talking hockey this morning, but how are you and any thoughts and takeaways from last night's games?
Andrew, I'm great. I'm excited. We're in the middle of the NHL playoffs. The Leafs are up 2-0. The Habs are down 2-0. Life is perfect at this particular moment. Before I get into anything, while we have everybody ready to hear our betting info, I got to tell you all, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Puck Time and the Blue Line combined one show live on this very channel. Me, Andrew McInnis, Matthew Barnaby. We've got a couple of NHLers and Andy Lang will be taking apart the entire NHL slate for the weekend, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and look at some future bets. 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Live, baby. As far as my takeaways from last night, Andrew, I got to tell you right off the bat, I'm impressed with the Habs. I think if I was a Canadiens fan, well, firstly, I'd shoot myself. But secondly, after shooting myself, because it would only be in the foot, I would be proud of this team. I would be like, okay, look, they played their heart outs last night. They really showed a gutsy effort. It looks like you guys have got a goaltender for many, many years to come. This is all about experience. I think the Habs lose in 5, maybe 4. But I think this was a successful season for them. As for the Dallas game, wow. I mean, wow. I don't even know what to say about the Dallas-Colorado series. You're going to ask me about Tampa Bay and Florida. I'm not betting either of those 2 series. And the LA Kings laid the smackdown on Edmonton. And here's what we know. This Edmonton team has no goaltending, terrible defense, and it's affecting their entire team. Everybody is playing tentatively and carefully because they know a shot on goal might be a goal. That's my takeaway from last night, bro. What about you?
Yeah, it's good to see you, Prez. I just love talking hockey, man, and I agree with a lot of stuff that you said there about the experience level with the Canadiens. And it's funny because you know how excited I am. I'm doing this post-game show with the hockey news, and the first time I did it for game 1, I was the host. And I really enjoyed being the host because I had a lot of questions available to ask because I follow the team so closely. But then last night, I worked with a reporter who covers the Nashville Predators and the Central Division. So she said, look, you know the East a lot more than me. You're a fan of the team. I'm going to let you rant. So it felt like a therapy session, man, because I was trying to be as professional as I possibly can. But at the same time, she goes, Andrew, the viewers like it. Just keep venting, keep ranting. So I got to have fun with that, which kind of made me feel a little bit better after the game. And like you said, it's about experience for these guys. Couple of disappointments from a couple of different players. And, Patrick Laine benched in the third period. This team just doesn't have a second line. Their third line is better than their second line. And that's not going to work. But LA, Prez, my 5% series bet over the years at WagerTalk, my 5% series bets have gone well. It's not over yet, but a really good 2-0 start. They were still small underdogs. I believe I released them at plus 110 to clients. So that one was good. And then the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars have led for all but 70 seconds in this series. 70
incredible?
seconds, and they're up 2-1 in the series. It is
But
unbelievable.
I don't understand that statistic because in game 1, Colorado led the whole game. So I'm a little confused.
Did I say Colorado? I meant to say Dallas.
You said Dallas has been up for 14 seconds.
70 seconds.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yes, it's unbelievable. But listen, they weren't down much yesterday. They tied it up quick, Andrew, I don't know how it slays me that I sit around with friends and they're like, yeah, we're gonna bet the Dallas Dallas Colorado series. We're gonna bet the Tampa Bay Florida series. I'm like, what are you, some freaking genius? What are you, the amazing Kreskin? Like, how are you finding value in those series? I'm 4-1 in the playoffs, bro. And the only reason I lost a game was a tying goal with 4 to go. So, hats off to all the people that are smart enough to figure out who's going to win between Colorado and Dallas.
Well, I'll tell you the last point about yesterday, because you brought it up about the defense and the goaltending. I said this on the post-game show I did last night. I kind of compare goaltenders to coaches, because when a team is playing well, nobody gives respect to the coach. Nobody gives respect to the goaltenders. When a team is playing poorly, it's this goalie sucks and fire the coach, right? And so when McDavid and these guys are all scoring goals and the Oilers are winning games, nobody is saying, what a great game by Stuart Skinner today. It's only when the defense lets him down. Nurse is playing poorly. You've got, all these guys playing bad on the blue line. Of course, Skinner's not playing well, but you notice it's only when their defense is playing bad and they're losing games. Well, now Stuart Skinner sucks. So I frankly don't think if Pickard's in net or Stuart Skinner's in net, if the defense plays the same, it doesn't matter who's in net.
Well, I just want to say that I don't necessarily fully agree with you, Andrew McInnis, and I'll tell you why. The Leafs have played like dog shit, but their goaltender has played unbelievable. So I'm not going to sit here and say when a team plays bad, I blame the goalie. I mean, the Leafs, honestly, Andrew, they've had moments, but they have been outshot both games. They have not carried the play in the offensive zone in both games. Stolarz stood on his freaking head in the first and second period of game 2. I mean, it was like unbelievable play. So let's
start with that one, Prez. Let's start with that one. The odds right now, current price as it's moved, minus 130 for the home team, Ottawa Senators. As you know, the Senators did well during the regular season, but it's a whole different beast. Game 1, they looked nervous. They had the jitters. They were throwing hits, taking penalties. The Leafs capitalized. Game 2, as you mentioned, most people, I think most Leaf fans, people would agree, they didn't look like really the more dominant team, but it doesn't matter. They scored the goals, and one thing I texted you and Carm in our group chat, and about 15% of that was a joke, and the rest was actually serious, was that the Berube style of hockey now, they can win games by scoring 2 goals, 3 goals. They're protecting leads. They're dumping the puck in. They're not making careless mistakes. But you get the last change now, and you know how a young team feels when they're in front of their home crowd. How do you feel about the odds here? Minus 130, of course, the way the Leafs are up 2-0. The Leafs have done so well in the series as far as, results-wise. If you do think that it's going to be a gentleman-type sweep, Prez, do you think this is the game Ottawa can win? I know it's hard, but do you think this is the game for them?
Well, do I think Ottawa can win this game? Sure. Why not? I mean, Linus Ullmark stands on his head and Brady Tkachuk gets a goal. They win 1-0. It can happen. Do I think it's a good bet? Hell freaking no, Andrew. Let's break this down from an emotional perspective. So here we have the Ottawa Senators. Now, everybody knows I'm close to a professional athlete. Right on the cusp. Even at 56, they're still trying. They're still trying to draft me. I've said no 3 years in a row. Let's look at this from an emotional perspective, because for me as a handicapper, I bet predominantly based on emotions of the team and the rhythm that they're in. So the Ottawa Senators are sitting around on the bus or the plane heading over to Ottawa, likely the bus, and they're saying, man, we played freaking awesome. held the team to 2 goals. Both their goals were off of skates or bodies. So basically, they didn't have a real goal all game long. They scored their 2 goals early in the first. They never got another sniff. We played unbelievable hockey. We were all over them in the second period, all over them. We outshot them. We outchanced them. We did everything right, and we lost. What are we going to do now? Then you look at the Leafs dressing room. Man, did we suck. Yo, Austin, do you know there's a playoff going on? Maybe you want to shoot the damn puck on net once every blue moon? Okay, Austin, reminder, playoff on. Yo, Chris Tanev, maybe you'll wake up and start playing what we're paying you to play. You look like shit out there. Okay, Chris Tanev been yelled at. Yo, Pontus, best game you've ever played as a Leaf. Why are you the best Leaf on the ice? Look around. Get JT, get Nylander. Nylander, get over here. We are the playoff. We're in the playoffs, Nylander. Okay. So the Leafs have played like dog shit for 2 games in a row, and they're up 2-0. I'd be feeling pretty damn good if I was Toronto. I'd be feeling pretty damn sour if I was Ottawa. Yeah, Leafs are winning tonight, my brother. If Ottawa wins a game, it's the next one, not this one.
Interesting. Okay, so the one that they win to you is the one where their backs are against the wall.
I don't say they're going to win that game. I say if they win one.
If they win one, okay. If they win one, and
yeah,
I think it's tough because a guy like Drake Batherson, I thought he was one of the better players for Ottawa in game 1, and then game 2 was pretty much his fault. I mean, bad turnover. And then he skates by Max Domi, doesn't lay any contact, and then Domi ends up scoring. And I'll tell you what, Prez, where I live, the newspapers and the media, we support the people that are from where we live. And not just Crosby and McKinnon, and Batherson is from my area. And it's not been good. People have been, saying, hey, that was a tough game for him. That was a tough game for him. And so one thing I'm curious about is for this young team, how they play in front of their home crowd versus how we saw them playing in Toronto. It should be a bit different. Now, here's the thing. The over-under is 1-1 to the over and under in this series so far. But, of course, the Maple Leafs practically they did carry the over home in the first game on their own with 3 power play goals.
Yep.
The second game being a dead nut under last final few minutes goal from the Senators, turning into an overtime game, and that one stays under. So this is the thing. The Ottawa Senators need Linus Ullmark to absolutely stand on his head tonight, but the Ottawa Senators have to solve Stolarz. I mean, at the end of the day, you talk about the game 1, and you're saying, Prez, that they might not have been the better team then. Well, at the end of the day, the Leafs didn't have to really be the better team in game 1 because they scored 3 power play goals.
Right, exactly.
But in game 2, I thought that Ottawa had a lot of chances. They carried pace of play.
Yep.
But the thing is about the playoffs, and as I mentioned, and as someone that always takes shots at the Leafs, I was saying on Twitter, this is what the Leafs have been needing for years. Because when I look at the players' faces on the bench, and they're looking at Craig Berube, who people call Chief, I see that people respect him. Those players respect him. I don't think that Sheldon Keefe demanded that same respect. Yeah. And when I look at him saying, hey, guys, defensive time, sit on this lead, protect this lead, I think it's a little bit different. But this is what it all comes down to. I mean, tonight in the St. Louis series, it's very similar to this game here in Ottawa. And, this is what you got to say to yourself. Ottawa was pretty decent size plus money when they were on the road, right? If we're talking about betting numbers, not teams, right? They're decent. Some people would say, well, why would I take Ottawa minus 115 now when I could have got a really good plus price on them in Toronto? Well, that's a really good question. And you have to ask yourselves, why are the odds makers giving us minus 115 on Ottawa right now at home when they're down 2-0 and they lost 6-2 and then 3-2 in OT as big size underdogs, and now they're the favorites. So that's kind of interesting to me. And, I've been giving out this bet a lot. And the good news about this is that I've probably been about 500 with this bet. But because I'm 500 with some bets that are plus 150, when I was on WagerTalk today, I gave out Minnesota Wild minus 130 to score in the first period, plus 150 to win the first period against the Vegas Golden Knights. That's the bet that I'm going to go with here in this one. I mean, a goal in the first period for Ottawa and Ottawa to win the first period, I think is the way to go. If you take a look at the first period puck line for them, it's plus 150. Score in the first period is like a minus 150 price, I think. It's the first period that indicates this game. I think it's very, very typical. I think it's, what's the score now? I think it's 11-4, Prez, something like that. 11-4 is the record for teams that have scored the first goal in these games. So people wonder why I bet a lot of these first period wagers. I think it's decided a lot in the first period who wins the game.
There we go. Okay, so that's your bet. We can both win our bets then. I like the Leafs on the money line all the way through. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Andrew, really quick, hijacking the show. Carmine Bianco, you want to talk about irony, my brother. This guy goes away to Italy. He's having the best trip ever. The dude is on an NHL run from the gods above. I think he is 18-1 or something, 20-3, like 18-1, 20-3. I mean, these are Mount Rushmore numbers. I'm so proud of him. And he's not here to promote the crap out of the streak. But guys out there, Carmine, I mean, you can't see it much better than being on a 20-3 run. So I want to just shout out Carm.
5% tonight. 5% Prez for Carm tonight.
5% play for Carm tonight. So take advantage of that run and take advantage of how Carm is seeing things. I also want to shout out my good pal, Miles Gavilan. Miles Gavilan writes, blue line is trash compared to PuckTime. I'm guessing he's 12. And that's okay. We appreciate, listen, don't gamble if you're 12 years old. Enjoy our show. But what's up with the name calling? Like, dude, I think PuckTime's incredible. Like, I think you and Carm are running.
We're collabing tomorrow.
Yeah,
we're collabing together.
Like, what's up with we are trash, like garbage, like the shit you put in your garburator, like the crap in your blue bin, or is it recyclable trash? Or is it just like total hog shit, smells like, shit, poo, trash? Like, where on the level of trash are we talking here?
Hey, Prez, there's this new saying that they're saying these days, and this is going to make me sound old saying this, and Miles is calling you out. You fell for the rage bait. That's what it's called, rage bait.
Dude.
Rage bait.
No.
You can't get baited. You can't get baited by it.
So this is what is going on today, Andrew. This is the new plan of I won't get into the political stuff. This is the new plan. They say their shit. You say to them, hey, your shit stinks. And they say, got you. With a Gretzky. Yeah. That's just an excuse for them wanting to vent their anger, their frustrations, their mental health problems. And then they go with, gotcha. You didn't get me. You actually think our show is trash. That's fine. I get a chance to promote the blue line. I got you, Miles. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to promote both PuckTime and the blue line. Gretzky! Okay, I've lost.
People love misery, Prez. I've started to get into TikTok lately, and the videos that I've done the best for me are the ones where I'm like sad and complaining about the Habs, or I'm like making fun of a player. Nobody wants like regular stuff. It's just like they want you to be upset and they want to.
Dude, I'm in the best mood.
Me too. I'm in a great mood, but we got to talk about another game.
Do you remember that Gretzky? I've
Yes.
lost the. Okay, so you're.
I know what you're saying. I know
you're.
We got to talk about Vegas and Minnesota. I'm going to throw that one at you.
Yeah.
I know you said you don't have a lot on the Panthers game. Vegas and Minnesota. How about that first period for Minnesota the other night? I mean, tip your hat to them in Vegas in game 2. Kaprizov is out of this world. He's out of this planet. It was unbelievable. I was in a playoff hockey draft last week, Prez. Not one person, and I'm in a few different drafts. Not one person in this one draft that I'm in took a Minnesota player because everybody thought the Minnesota would get knocked out in the first round. So it doesn't matter how many points Kaprizov gets. They're probably gonna lose early on anyway. Well, the series is 1-1 now, and it's back to Minnesota, but minus 160 is the price for the road favorites. And I don't want to sound like a broken record here, Prez, but I'm going to. I think the first period indicates everything you need to know. And the funny thing is, yesterday, I was able to cash a first period puck line bet on the Avalanche, despite them losing the game. Well, minus a half goal is plus 145 in the first period. Don't get me wrong. Minnesota will be motivated in this one. They'll be happy to be back home. But this is a veteran team in Vegas. I don't see them really caring where the hell they're playing this game. They're a good home team, but I don't see them being bothered by being on the road. I'm turning a minus 160 into a plus 145 on Vegas to win the first period. Your thoughts on that?
Andrew, I got no thoughts on your first period bets. Listen, kudos to you to finding your angle and your rhythm. You know, second most profitable NHL expert this season in playoffs.
We're battling, Prez. We are battling.
Second right now. Second right now.
I was one yesterday. I was one yesterday too.
For like 20 minutes because your play was graded before mine. But Andrew, I would love nothing more. Let's both bring the best out in us. That's what Blue Line and PuckTime is doing as well. So I would like nothing more than for you to beat me when all's said and done at the end of the NHL season.
I want to know how close
my little Padawan. Anyway, I love working with you, Andrew. It's so much fun. Let me take this game apart real quick. 16-20. Those are the shots Minnesota have gotten on Vegas, and 32-27 is the shots Vegas has on Minnesota. Now I get it. Shots are not the key to winning games. Goals are the key to winning games. But man, you get put up 16 shots in a game, you suck. Literally suck. Now, you won that game, sure. But that's one of those scenarios where poker players think they made the right move because of the end result. You know, I had kings. He had aces. I knew he had aces, but I still called and hit a king. I was right. No, you were wrong. And Minnesota is not a good hockey team right now. Not if you're putting up 16 shots on net. You know, I thought Minnesota had a fighter's chance to win the series. I don't anymore. I think this series is going to be over in 5 or 6. I think Vegas wins the next 2 games. I think Vegas wins minus 150, 160 tonight. I'm not monkeying around with the first period. I'm taking the game. I'm taking it on the money line. This is a veteran Vegas team. This is a team that's 2 years removed from winning the cup with the same bloody roster. Aiden Hill is a great goaltender. I like under in his shot saves. Shots on goal saved. You know what I'm talking. Saves. And that prop was given to us by Andy Lang on the blue line. I don't want to overthink this. Minnesota is clearly not playing good hockey right now. They had 1 great period out of 6. I'm taking Vegas tonight, minus the 155.
I mean, that's the thing. The good news is that period scored 4 goals. But to your point, people are going to be fooled by that period.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And we have to tip our cap to that period. But at the end of the day, as you mentioned, that's one period that won them the game. And I got to love Swish here, who went to see his first NHL game, Florida, Tampa Bay. He says, lol, okay, Obi Prez Kenobi. I love that. Obi Prez, like that is solid. That is solid. I don't mind being the young Padawan. I remember talking to Prez on the phone like 6 years ago before I joined the website at Sportsmemo, and it feels like just yesterday. But Prez, the opening numbers, shout out to oddslogic.com as well, guys. You guys can get a free 7 days. It's the best line odds service out there. I have it open on my monitors all day long. Opening number was minus 145 for Vegas. Currently at South Point, we're seeing minus 155, 160 at Circa. The number is only climbing on Vegas right now. So that's why I like the first period, Prez. I think this Vegas Golden Knights team is such a veteran-built team that they get together and they say, look, boys, that first period was not our best period, but second and third, we played well, and we got to have a good start here. And, you know, the funny thing is, as much as I'm talking about with Ottawa and Montreal, how crucial it is to have, you know, that home crowd behind you, some teams, not all teams, some teams actually play better on the road, and there's less pressure. Right. And you got a veteran team, as I keep saying, coming into town. And now they want to spoil your party. They want to go to your house and they want to spoil your party in front of your home crowd. And Brian Leonard always talks about the fact that you're getting better value. And value is such a word that we throw around. But let's ask ourselves this. If Vegas had just lost as they did last game, and this game tonight was at home, what's the number we're seeing right now? Wouldn't be shocked to see it closer to 190 in the 200 range, right, Prez? So some might say the number we're getting on this money line tonight is a discount because they are on the road. So I'll take a look at Vegas here. I look for a really good game, and I want to throw this back to you because I know you're not a huge props guy, but you're a hockey guy, and it's interesting to me when you talk about the goalie save prop, because sometimes I'll look at the goalie save prop to the over for a team or a goalie when I actually expect that team to get dominated, because I expect the other team to pepper a lot of shots. Like, for example, you could look at Aiden Hill's under on saves tonight if you just think the team's going to play well defensively. Some people might hear you say that and think, oh, that means he thinks Vegas is going to lose. It's like, no, I just don't think they're going to give up a ton of shots. You know what I mean by that?
Yep. Yeah. And listen, Andrew, to your credit, you are studying this stuff. Like, you are deep into this stuff. And Andy Lang, listening to him talk about these prop bets and you talk about these prop bets, I mean, kudos to both of you guys. And I got a 24-year-old daughter. Get your head out of the gutter, everyone. I have a 22-year-old daughter too. Get your head. Anyway, my 24-year-old daughter, boyfriends and their friends and this, that, and the other. I know what's going on. I'm not an idiot. These kids love betting these type of bets. And you and Andy have done such an incredible job. I am no help here, dude. Like, honestly, like, I can only study so much. Like, I have lost, in my old age, I have lost the hunger and desire to study numbers for 15 hours a day and unearth these bets that you and Andy can find. So I got nothing to add in that regard. Yeah, dude, we should definitely do that. I have nothing to add in that regard, but work that promo out, Andrew.
All right. Yeah, I think, you know what? The more Prez and I talk and joke around, we're at number 1 and 2 in the NHL this year at WagerTalk. So we always talk about how we want, the whole point is for our customers to win. Prez, I say we get together today and we make one big package together. We make money the rest of the playoffs, and you and I talk, and I don't think we're going to be head to head, really. I think this package could work very, very well.
Because you play a lot of these cockamamie new age bets that I can't figure out, and I play the old school, how many goals are going to be in a game or who's going to win. So, yeah.
And we can promote each other. All right. We've been alive for close to 30 minutes. I have been trying to perfect the craft of, no matter where we end up with this show, we're balancing around 30 minutes. You said you didn't really have much in the Florida and Tampa Bay game. One thing I'm going to say is that game twos have been particularly lower scoring than
Yes.
game ones across the NHL. Would you agree the under could be a look here despite all the talent?
No.
No. Okay.
But I don't agree the over would be the look either.
All right.
It's not, Andrew, I'm just listen.
I don't want to
guys,
force a play out of you.
Guys,
I don't want to force a play out of you.
Like if you're some genius who can figure out, Tampa Bay is an over team, Florida is an under team. Both of these teams are capable of winning the Stanley Cup. No. I cannot make a play up in that series or the Colorado-Dallas series. There's just way better betting opportunities. I like the under in the Winnipeg St. Louis game. I like the under in the Vegas Minnesota game. I like the under in the Toronto Ottawa game. I like Vegas. I like Winnipeg. I like Toronto. There's 6 bets. Prez, go to work out.
All right. Yeah, we did not. I don't know how the hell we didn't get to that game. I thought I did. Jeez, I thought I was holding it down. And steering the ship. All right. Prez likes the Jets and Blues under. That is the first game back in St. Louis, game 3. Jets are up 2-0. They won the first game in high-scoring fashion. They won the second game in low-scoring fashion. Ottawa and St. Louis both heading back home. One of them, I think, will at least win tonight, but I think the St. Louis Blues team is going to be able to find the back of the net. Getting the last change for the underdog team is so huge. Winnipeg is a deep team. I think them getting Robert Thomas, them getting the top guys on this team out there against some weaker matchups will be advantageous for the St. Louis Blues. So with that all being said, you guys know where I'm going with this. We're seeing a 5.5 as the total. I'm going over 2.5 team total goals for the St. Louis Blues at -115. Hopefully we see the same hellebuck we saw in game 1 and not the same hellebuck that we saw in game 2. Prez, if you are still with me,
I am.
You're on a good NBA run. You're friggin' crushing it in the NHL. Is there anything you want to promote right now before we get out of here?
Yeah, so I'm actually crushing it the most in baseball, Andrew. I'm on a 15. I'm on a 15-4 baseball run. Listen to Andrew. Right now is the time to be betting me, and I've been telling everyone that. I mean, so I'm on a 15-4 baseball run. I'm on a 23-11 NBA run. I'm on a 6-1 NHL run. I'm up double-digit profits in NHL and baseball. I've cashed 9 of my last 10 days of betting. I've had 7 losing days in the last 35 days. 7 losing days in the last 35. I'm up 60 units of profit in the last 35 days. I don't know what else I can do. I'm literally dominating every single night. Tonight for my clients, I have 1 NHL play, which I've given out on the show today, if you can figure out. I have 1 baseball play. Thanks for having me, brother. My show best bet. Do we still do that? Do you want to show best bet for tonight?
Feel free to throw one out there, Prez.
It's Vegas on the money line,
okay.
Even though it has so much juice. Vegas on the money line. I just love that play.
Well, you know what? Juice only matters if you lose, and Vegas ain't losing tonight. So I think it's a good bet. I think Vegas is the team that's going to bounce back, and I think that Minnesota had one really, really good period. All right, guys, I got a 5% play tonight in the NHL. We have earned close to 54 units long-term just the last year on 5% NHL plays. Preseason, regular season, playoffs, whatever it might be. We cashed in just 2 periods in Tampa and Florida over 5.5. We're up 2-0 so far with our 5% series bet on the LA Kings. And we are absolutely crushing these big bets. I've had 1% plays, 2% plays, 3% plays during these playoffs, but do not miss out on the 5% play going tonight. And Carmine is absolutely crushing it as well. He's got a play, so don't miss that one. But my promo code is BIGWIN149. Get 30 days of all of my plays across all sports, baseball, hockey, basketball for $149. That is a $150 discount, guys. It's regular $299 for a 30-day pass. We're going to give you 30 days of not just hockey, but every single sport I bet for $149. Join me, guys. Let's have a great time. And don't miss Prez today on Wager Talk today, coming up in 22 minutes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Smash that like button. We'll see you tomorrow on the blue line right here, Wager Talk TV.